Hey everyone, welcome to another MLM dumpster fire. Excuse my chair, it's getting more and more squeaky day by day. As per usual, I think all of my chairs were extremely squeaky, but this one seems to be extra squeaky. Today we're back to watch another Young Living training, and we have seen this lady before on my channel. A few weeks ago I covered her. This was sent to me by one of you guys. As always, thank you so much for sending all the content. This is called Young Living Training Mindset plus Keep Following Up. So yeah, I figure there's gonna be a lot of advice on how to annoy and nag people to join your business. Nothing unusual. Before we get into it, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. That's a nice free way to support my channel if you would like. And let's just get into it.
Hey guys, I'm going to chat with you really quickly about how to follow up and improve all of your numbers.
Well, I already have an issue with what she said. She said really quickly, and this is 20 minutes long, so 20 minutes is not quick.
The numbers of people that you're enrolling and the numbers of people that you're getting on loyalty rewards, which will in turn increase your checks, increase your business, increase everything. So the first thing that I want to talk about is our mindset, because that is the problem with our follow-up. The problem with our follow-up is all in our heads. So if you have not read the post for today, go read it, because Courtney lays out what's going through our minds when we think about follow-up and the reason why we're not following up. So this is something that I have succeeded with, and something.
The reasons that people feel bad and try to avoid following up is because they don't want to annoy people. They realize that they're annoying them. They already said no, or that they're not interested, or whatever they said. After being rejected, you're still going to follow up with them and try to get them to. That's not normal, in my opinion. I don't want to say normal, you know what I mean? It's weird. Just don't do it. Don't nag people to join your business. If they already said no, especially, just leave people alone. It's not okay to keep nagging people after they rejected you already. If they change their mind, they're gonna come back to you. They're gonna ask you if they decide to join your business in the future down the line. You don't have to keep nagging them all the freaking time.
Thing that I've also struggled with. And so I have a couple short stories to share and some very specific things that I think are going to absolutely solve any problem that you have with follow-up. So my first question is, I want you to think and even tell me in the comments if you have ever looked at your virtual office and felt shame when you saw certain names that you know that you didn't follow up with. I think we all have people in our virtual office will look in there and they're not on loyalty, or they've got off loyalty and we have no idea when they got off loyalty, and they've been sitting there and we can't think of the last time we spoke to them. Or maybe they enrolled like 8 months ago and we never had a conversation with them afterwards. And so we know those people. When we look in our virtual office and we see those people and we have that feeling of like, I messed up there. I think that probably most of us can relate to that at some point in our businesses. And then also, what about our prospects in our app? How many of us have opened our app and gone and clicked on prospects and realized like, oh my word, I have 20 people in here that I completely forgot about. And I just would love to know if any of you have ever experienced that, where you're like, oh, I forgot about all these prospects, or, oh, I've enrolled these people and I never followed up with them. And so I want to share with you a few mindset shifts that you might be able to use when it comes to follow-up. These are things that I have used myself. The first one is, I had a realization probably last year that I am constantly sharing Young Living. I look at my business as like, I'm taking this very seriously. I'm not a hobbyist. I'm not here just to have fun. I'm here to build a business.
Of course, implying that if you're not successful, you're most likely just being a hobbyist. You're not taking your business seriously enough, and that's why you're failing, which is so far from the truth. You're failing because the business model is set up so that you fail. The majority of people are never gonna make any profit in MLMs. It's not your fault. It's not your mindset. It's not your hard work or you being lazy or whatever. It's not you, it's the business model.
I'm here to help people get these products into their homes, and I'm here to grow my paycheck and grow my team. And if that's what my goal is, then I need to act like that. So what I want people to see me as a professional and not as a hobbyist. So when I go to the grocery store and they say, do you want to donate to this? Those people at the registers, they're not scared to ask us that. And the reason why is because it's their job. Their job is to literally ask whatever question it is, like, do you want to, apply for our credit card?
Comparing this is so ridiculous to me. If they're asking you to donate to a charity, it's not the same. It's very opposite from you trying to recruit people into your team for your own financial benefits, into an MLM where the majority of people never make any profit, into a pyramid scheme, a product-based pyramid scheme, in my opinion. Charity and MLMs are not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You're asking people to join and people at the cash register asking you. Also, yeah, it is their job. Absolutely. They get paid. Weekly, monthly, whatever. They get paid to ask people. Most people in MLMs, they never make any profit. They don't make any paychecks. They're just not profiting. They're doing all that crap for free.
They're offering us a service, right? Do you want to save 20%? And do the credit card? And, you can say no, and they're not going to be offended by that. But also, we're not going to be offended by that because we know they're just doing their job. And so this was a mindset shift that I had last year where I really had to realize that, that there's a difference between acting like a professional and this is part of my job. It is to follow up. And I can do certain activities that will make that happen versus, I sell somebody a kit and then I vanish and I don't talk to them again. Or, I talk to somebody about oils and I give them a sample and then I don't ever, follow up with them. So that's the first thing I want you to think about is, am I doing this as, a job, as part of, a professional thing that I'm doing, or am I here to play? The second thing is, meeting people's expectations, at least meeting people's expectations versus, at least meeting their expectations and hopefully exceeding them. And so this is something that was a huge eye-opener for me a while back. I had enrolled somebody, I knew her personally, and I did not follow up with her, and she got on loyalty rewards. And then I don't know if y'all have ever experienced this where somebody gets on loyalty rewards like randomly, you didn't even help them get on loyalty rewards, and then you just kind of like keep your fingers crossed for months and months and months as you keep watching because you didn't follow up with them, and then you feel nervous about reaching out to them months later. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that where you're like, well, maybe they'll just magically stay on loyalty rewards. Okay, so I had that experience, and eventually she fell off of loyalty rewards because that is what happens eventually if we don't communicate with them and help them. And so she fell off loyalty rewards, and I knew that was my fault. And probably a year later, she reached out and asked me a random question. It might have been 18 months, 2 years later. I don't know how long. It had been a while. She reached out and asked me a question. She wanted to purchase something, so she bought something, and I helped her. And then I said to her, you know what? I did a really poor job of serving you when you first enrolled with me. So and I want to apologize for that, but I'm here. Let me know how I can help you. And I upped my follow-up game, and she responded to me and she was like,
this is interesting because usually what we hear is MLM people saying, oh, it's not your upline's fault. It's not anyone's fault if you don't succeed. It's all your failure is your fault and your fault only. So I guess it's interesting to hear someone say differently, even though it's not really no one's fault. It's the business model, but yeah.
I really appreciate that. And she told me, she was like, I really thought that you would have helped me more than you did. And that was so humbling. And, but it was a huge lesson that I learned in that people actually do expect us to follow up with them. People actually expect us to, like, if they've bought something from us, they actually do expect something, as far as like acknowledgement, answering their questions, whatever it is, they expect that. And so many times in our brains, we're telling ourselves we're bothering them, and And they're telling themselves like, I'm just waiting for her to, do whatever it is, answer the question or, reach out to me or acknowledge that I purchased something from her, And then the last mindset thing, I don't know if this is mindset so much, but the last thing that I want to share with you guys that has helped me immensely in my business. And then I'm going to talk about some very specific things to do as far as follow-up that's going to completely change the way you think about it.
Oh, we're gonna get into it very specifically. I'd love to hear that. Can't wait to hear that because usually we never hear them go into specifics.
The last thing is to empathize. Put yourself in the person's shoes that you are talking to, whether that is a prospect or that is a customer. And so, for example, how would you want to be treated? If you purchase something from someone, what would you want from that person? Would you want them to acknowledge that you purchased something from them? Would you want them to send you some follow-up information? What would you expect from them? If it's a prospect, what would you expect if you were a prospect? What would you expect if you asked somebody a question about a product? What would you expect them to do as far as answering? Would you expect them to be like really, really salesy and pushy? Or would you want them to just ask you questions and, lead you gently in a direction as far as the answer as instead of being really, really pushy? And that is something that has really served me well in my business is just, I always think about the person that I'm talking to, and I always try to put myself in their position. If I was asking this question, or if I was talking to somebody, how would I want to be treated? And so a lot of times, like for example, like if I ask somebody a question about a product, I wouldn't necessarily want them to like mass invite me to like an event. I wouldn't necessarily want them to like spam me with like, here's this link, here's this link, here's this link,
I forgot. I said this in one of my previous videos. My monitor is here, my laptop is here, and I'm trying to multitask a little bit. So if I do this, it's just because I can't see the bottom right corner of my monitor. So sorry for being weird.
Like this link, I'd rather want them to have a conversation with me, and that sort of thing instead of like kind of spamming me. I'd want them to relate to me. I'd want them to ask questions and help me to find some solutions. Okay. So, let me talk to you about how I think all of us get in our minds and all of us, we worry about all the things. And like I said, go back and read Courtney's post because she kind of covers it. But I have some very specific follow-up systems that if you will just systemize your follow-up, it's basically like, just do it. Don't think about it. Remember, we're acting professional. We are professionals. We're here to build a business. We're here to help people. And so
in my opinion, there is absolutely nothing professional in you nagging people after they already rejected you, especially just nagging them to join your team. Your MLM team. That there's nothing professional in that. You're an independent contractor for Young Living in this particular training. And again, there is nothing professional about that. The majority of people are not making any profit. I highly doubt that this person is making any profit in it. I honestly don't know how high up she is. I kind of doubt that she's successful. But yeah, let me know down below. Maybe I'm wrong, or in my inbox on Instagram if you want to be anonymous.
We have to get out of our heads. We have to get out of our heads. And if that means we systemize what we do, then that's what we need to do. And that has helped me immensely, is just to systemize. This is what I do with customers. This is always what I do with prospects. And if you treat it like a checklist, then you don't have to think about it. You don't have to be like, oh, well, that's Susie and I don't want to bother her. No, this is what I always do. And so the first thing, I'm going to talk about customers first, and then I'm going to talk about prospects. The first thing is when you enroll a new customer, the first thing in my system is I communicate with them. So once they've enrolled with me, I specifically tell them what they can expect as far as emails, texts, whatever it is. I tell them I'm going to follow up with you. That's the first thing. They know they can expect that I will be following up with them. I tell them like, okay, I'm so excited for you. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add you to our team's emails and text and Facebook groups. Like, this is what you can expect, right? And then I go and I do that. If you're someone that has a smaller team and you're not sending out your own emails or texts yet, please talk to your upline, silver, gold, platinum leader, whoever it is. There's someone on your team who is sending out emails and texts. They may not be sending them to your people, but I bet they would be totally happy to. So reach out to that person and say, hey, can you just send my people your emails and texts? And then you tell your new customer, hey, I'm going to get you added to our team's email and text so that you can always know all the information, their educational, etc. Tell them that. Also, tell them, hey, when you get your kit or whenever you get your order, text me because I can set up a really quick call where we'll just walk through it. I want to make sure that you know how to use everything. Tell them in advance what to expect, because I can tell you right now that if they purchase something from you and you don't communicate with them at all for like 2 to 4 weeks, then when it's time to follow up and find out if they've received their kit or set up that customer checklist call, you're not going to want to do it because you will automatically feel like, oh, it's been too much time. So when you enroll them, tell them exactly what to expect. Communicate with them what you will be doing as far as follow-up is concerned. And then when they get their kit, they will text you. Most people, not all of them, but most people are excited. They want you to help them with the thing that they ordered. I've done so many of those customer care calls with their first kits, and those people get on loyalty pretty quickly if they didn't with the first, and then you can already set up their next loyalty order with them, and like you will massively increase your loyalty rewards percentage rates if you're doing that. The second thing is they are in your app. So all of us should be on the Life Steps app. It literally does everything for us, right? So when I'm talking about systems, go into your app. You've already communicated. Number one, you've communicated to your customers what to expect as far as follow-up. Number two, you go into your app. They're there. Guess what? It tells you exactly what to do in follow-up. Number one, you're going to welcome them. That welcome can simply be a, hey, I'm so excited for you. This is what you can expect.
I mean, I love how she says she's gonna get into specifics, but this all is so basic that, like, is there really the need for her to give you an example of how to say, hey, thank you so much for, you know what I mean? I hope the specifics are going to get a little bit more specific.
You've been added to our texts. You've been added to our emails, and let's set up a call when you get your order in. Okay. That can be your welcome. Then you can reach out even in the welcome. You could say, by the way, here's your referral link, and this is what happens anytime that you enroll someone. Let them know they can earn 25% credit. This is a system, right? It's in your app. It tells you exactly. The number one thing is send a welcome. Number two, referral link. Number three, set up a customer checklist call. The customer checklist is in the app. So you don't even have to think about it. This is your system. Your system is literally first to communicate what to expect. Number two, follow all the things that are in the app, right? You don't even have to think about it. So if you can just remove the thoughts and just do the actions, your follow-up will increase dramatically. Your numbers will increase dramatically. Okay, let's talk about prospects. Okay, wait, backtrack. Number one was to communicate what to expect. Number two was to use the app and follow those systems. Number three, communicate personally once a month at least. That's another thing. If you're using the app, you're turning your your customers green. But one thing that I try to do is I try to personally reach out, reach out to people at least once a month just to see how they're doing. Just even if it's not even Young Living related, they know you're the Young Living person, so that will automatically come to their mind. You can literally just say like, hey, Merry Christmas, or hey, happy birthday, or whatever it is, oh, I saw this article and I was thinking about you, whatever. But communicate personally once a month. Okay, back to our prospects. So those were our customers. Here we go to our prospects. The first thing is, as soon as you have somebody that you are sharing oils with, add them to your Life Steps app, because the Life Steps app will then go through every single thing that you need to do. It's already there. The second thing is have a timeline in mind. I have always used the 2-10-30 rule. And so basically I know in advance when I talk to somebody about oils, I am going to follow up with them 2 days after I talk to them. Then I'm going to wait another 10 days and I will reach out to them again in 10 days. And then I'm going to reach out to them again in 30 days. That is my system. Okay. So first of all, we're using the app.
Imagine if you have a bunch of people that you're trying to get to buy or to recruit or whatever. Imagine if you have a bunch of people, you have to track when you last contacted them, the date when you need to contact them again, the date, like you literally have to have a spreadsheet with all of their names and dates when you need to contact them again. And like that is so much work and so much effort for a business that is not earning you any profit. You're literally not getting any benefits back from doing all of this. It's too much work for no benefits at all. It's not worth anyone's time or effort.
Those things are in the app. You can literally use that app on day 2, day 10, day 30. And whatever the app says to do, you do it.
Oh, sorry. I guess she says you can do it on the app. You can track it on the app and whatever, but still it's too much work. It's too much effort for something that's not giving you any benefits, especially financial, because you're most likely joined for financial benefits because you need more money, right? You're not getting any of that through this.
Right? But if you systemize it and you look at it and you're like, oh, I talked to Susie and I'm going to set my time. I'm going to set my reminder to reach out to her in 2 days. And then I'm going to set my reminder to reach out to her in 10 days. I'm going to set my reminder to reach out to her in 30 days. Just have a plan for it. So you don't have to think about like, oh, should I talk to Susie? I don't know if I should talk to Susie. Is it too soon? Is it too late? I don't know if I waited too long. No, it doesn't matter. We 2-10-20, right? Or sorry, 2-10-30. 2-10-30. Okay. Then what happens if it's been 30 days? You reached out to her. My day 30 is I just reach out again, follow up, and then I ask her, hey, is it okay if I add you to my monthly newsletter? The newsletter's in the app, y'all. And it's our
seriously, leave them people alone. If they're not responding, if they're not participating and you keep reaching out to them, and no, clearly it's not okay. If they wanted to do anything with you or your business, they would have responded to your message.
Already there as a prospect checklist. And so every month on the 1st, reach out to those prospects that, have been past 30 days that they've been prospects and send them the newsletter, right? And then the third thing on our prospects is to continue being a human being, right? So after you've gone through that 2-10-30 thing, and then you've got them on your monthly newsletters, continue your relationship the same as you did before they were actually a prospect. Don't get weird. And now it's like, well, I don't know.
I mean, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, you're already being weird by following up with them so many times, especially if it's not organically organically. Can you even say that a conversation is organic or genuine if the MLM person's goal is just to gain financial benefits off of the relationship? Then there's nothing really genuine or organic about it.
I don't know if we can I can act normal because she didn't actually answer me, or maybe she ghosted you, right? Just continue your relationship like it was before.
There is no relationship if the person ghosted you, lady.
Or don't make it weird, right? You have a system in place. You're adding the person to the app. You're following that 2-10-30 rule. Then you're adding them to the monthly newsletters. You're asking for permission for that. And then you just continue on your relationship the way that you normally would.
There is no relationship if the person is ghosting your messages. I'm just going to repeat that again because there are clearly some people that need to hear it out there.
So those are I think I don't have any other notes. One more thing. There are people, this is a personal story, but there are people just with our attention spans these days. People do have to be reminded. We are not bothering them unless you're being super spammy or super salesy. We are not.
Girl, if you are sending 3 different messages within a month to someone who is consistently not responding to those messages, you're being weird, you're being spammy and inappropriate in my opinion. Just leave people alone. All that's gonna get you in most cases is they're just gonna block you.
Bothering them, and trust your judgment with regards to the conversation that you've had with them. If they're really truly interested or if they're just mildly interested interested. So I have a really good friend that she had this product that she was using, and it was from Amazon. It wasn't anything, but she had this product that she was using and I really liked it. She knew it. She was like, hey, this is the link, go buy it. Well, I am the person that has to be reminded like 14 gazillion times to go do the thing. I put things in my cart all the time and forget to check out. Or I think I wait. Like I'm like, well, maybe it'll be on sale or whatever. I am that person.
Yeah, I mean, this story is, in my opinion, what I'm hearing from it is just her trying to justify you nagging other people and trying to say, but no, really, you're not bothering them. People are just forgetful. No, they're not. They don't want to join your MLM scam. In my opinion, the majority of people, especially those that ghost you, they're just not interested. And you are absolutely bothering them by consistently keeping up with them.
And so I had this friend, she sent me the link, and then several days later, she's like, hey, did you buy that? I mean, y'all can literally do this with some of your people. Hey, did you ever buy that? And I said, no, I didn't do it. It's in my cart. And she said, go buy it. I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. And then a few days later, she's like, did you ever buy that? And I said, no, I didn't buy it. I need to buy it. And she was like, oh, just go buy it. Just buy the thing. And I was like, okay, I will. Y'all, 2 weeks goes by. I still haven't bought the thing. And she's like, for the love, just give me your credit card and I'll buy it for you. And so I was like, no, I'm doing it right now. And I bought the thing, but it did not bother me at all. Like it was on me. She knew I really, really wanted it.
Okay, like if it's your close friend, if that's a random person on social media trying to get you to do something like that and asking for your credit card, talk about being weird. Stop that.
She just kept saying like, hey, go do that. You really want it. Just go do it. And it was just a thing on my end. And so I was not annoyed or frustrated whatsoever that she kept reminding me like, hey, you really wanted this, go do it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Most of the follow-up issues that we have are completely in our brains, and we have to get out of our brains. That is the best thing that I did this past year, was just put systems in place so I don't even have to think about it. I don't even have to think like, well, does Mary want to hear from me? I don't know. Am I bothering her? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's part of my system. I'm a professional. This is how she would expect me to behave. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to follow my system so I don't have to think about it. And I'm just going to check it off, right? I hope you guys are getting some great information. Go back, read Courtney's post about follow-up. And I know we're going to dig into some follow-up systems as we go on this week. So hope you guys have a great evening. Stay warm.
Everything that she said to me sounded like you're absolutely nagging people. You're being inappropriate, in my opinion, as well. Like you're just kind of pushing your boundaries with people, seeing how many times you can message them and annoy them before they actually end up blocking you, which a lot of people will try to hold off blocking people because they're too nice. But like, stop bothering people, okay? None of that is okay. And nice try, young living lady, in trying to make people think that nagging people is okay and trying to justify it. Gonna wrap that one up here. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below your thoughts. If I forgot to comment on something, I know I was a little bit distracted with my monitor during the call. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. That's a nice free way to support my channel if you would like. And as always, big shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.